Have you ever encountered a person who seems friendly, open, and sincere, but you get a feeling that something is off? Or perhaps you found yourself in a situation where what seemed like a good relationship eventually turned into manipulations or hidden contempt. This could be related to the concept introduced by Carl Jung, the concept of the shadow. The shadow is that hidden part of our personality that we don't want to acknowledge or accept. These are the traits, emotions, and desires we consider unacceptable or undesirable in ourselves. However, Jung argued that this shadow doesn't disappear. It continues to live within us and finds ways to manifest. Sometimes it's hidden in our actions, thoughts, and emotions that we don't consciously recognize. These manifestations can appear as hidden emotions, manipulations, or behaviors that we don't immediately see. But it's important to learn to notice these signs in other people in order to protect ourselves from their destructive influence. Today, I'll share several signs of how the shadow affects our relationships and how to recognize these hidden emotions to avoid manipulations and toxic people in your life. The first sign: hidden aggression behind a mask of friendliness. One of the most apparent signs of the shadow manifesting in relationships is hidden aggression disguised as friendliness and kindness. It can often be difficult to understand that someone in your circle harbors aggression or dislike, but these people often mask it with a smile or kind words. Jung said that the shadow can manifest in the smallest details when a person says one thing, but their actions or words reveal something completely different. For example, you may encounter someone who says, "You'll manage, everything will be fine," and it seems like support. But there's coldness or indifference in their voice or body language. This is a clear signal that their words don't match their real feelings. This can be an expression of their inner shadow. Jung argued that these subtle forms of aggression act like toxic fertilizer, pushing us towards feelings of guilt and insecurity. These small manipulations can be disorienting, making us second-guess ourselves and question the authenticity of our relationships. How to protect yourself. To deal with such people, it's important to develop the ability to recognize hidden motives. Be attentive to those who say one thing but do something completely different. Watch for contradictions between what people say and how they act. Pay attention to your gut feelings when someone's words don't feel genuine. Jung emphasized the importance of honing your intuition and using it as a tool to understand when something doesn't seem right. If you feel that someone is hiding their real emotions, pay attention to their actions and manner of communication, not just their words. The second sign: manipulation through guilt. Many people use hidden manipulations to make us feel guilty. For example, they might accuse us of not doing something important for them and make us believe that we should have acted differently. This is especially dangerous because it starts creating doubts in our own actions, even if we were right all along. Jung called this shadow projection, when a person projects their unconscious fears, resentments, and pain onto others, making them feel guilty. A manipulator might say, "You promised to help, why didn't you show up?" Or, "You're always so busy, but when I need you, you ignore me." These words hide the manipulator's own unresolved feelings, and they begin to affect your self-esteem, making you think you're in the wrong. How to protect yourself. If you feel that someone is trying to manipulate you through guilt, it's important to stop and analyze the situation. Ask them to be specific. What exactly did I do wrong? Or, why do you think I should have acted differently? These questions not only force the manipulator to clarify their accusations, but also allow you to stand firm in your perspective. By doing this, you begin to take control of the situation rather than be controlled by the manipulator's guilt-driven tactics. Manipulations through guilt can be subtle, but they often mask the manipulator's own complexes and insecurities. Learn to recognize when you're being dragged into feeling guilty without objective reasons. The third sign, ignoring your successes. The shadow can also manifest in relationships through minimizing your achievements. People who are unaware of their own shadow might secretly envy your success and try to belittle it. This might show up as sarcasm or in small ways, where your victories are seen as insignificant. For example, when you share a triumph or achievement, someone might respond, "Well, it wasn't that hard." This response could be an expression of their own inner envy or insecurity. This behavior is not always direct, but it can have a deep impact on your self-esteem. Over time, these small dismissals add up and can leave you feeling as though your accomplishments are unworthy of recognition. How to protect yourself. Jung argued that those who criticize us or downplay our achievements are often projecting their own failures and complexes. If someone can't genuinely rejoice in your success, that's their problem, not yours. Don't let other people's insecurities or failures influence your self-esteem. Stand firm and confident in your accomplishments. Be aware that people who constantly downplay your success might be doing it to deflect attention from their own perceived shortcomings. Practice self-validation and cherish your wins, no matter how big or small. The fourth sign, creating doubt in yourself. The shadow can also manifest in the way someone subtly undermines your confidence. This might be through constant doubt about your actions, for instance. Are you sure this is the right decision? Even if you're completely sure of your choice, such questions can cause you to question yourself and your decisions. This creates an opening for manipulation, where the person starts influencing your self-esteem. How to protect yourself. Jung recommended working on your self-worth and self-awareness. The stronger your confidence, the harder it is for such people to have an impact on you. Practice self-respect, trust your inner voice, and be confident in your decisions. Surround yourself with people who validate and support your choices. When you become more self-assured, others' doubts will have less power over you. This helps build an emotional resilience that protects you from any attempts at emotional manipulation. The fifth sign, hidden envy. Envy is one of the most dangerous manifestations of the shadow. When someone envies you, they might hide it behind a mask of friendliness, but their behavior and words often give them away. For example, when you share your accomplishments, they might avoid giving praise or attempt to diminish your success. This kind of envy might be concealed behind a smile, but you can sense it through the smallest details. People who harbor envy are often not at peace with themselves. They may feel inadequate or resentful when they see others succeeding. This can make them react in ways that seem supportive on the surface, but are actually expressions of deep-rooted insecurity. How to protect yourself. Envy often stems from a person's inability to accept their own shadow, their failures, and their limitations. If you feel that someone is envious of you, it's important not to allow that emotion to control you. Limit contact with such people and surround yourself with those who genuinely celebrate your successes. Remember, envy is not your problem, but rather the problem of the one who feels it. Learning to protect your emotional space from envious people can help you maintain your peace of mind and joy. The sixth sign, manipulation through a sense of obligation. Sometimes the shadow appears in relationships through manipulations that make you feel obligated. For example, you promised me this, or you've always supported me. Why can't you help now? These manipulations can be very subtle and hard to spot, but they make you feel that you must comply with someone else's wishes, even when you don't want to. This tactic exploits a sense of guilt or duty and can be especially difficult to resist if you're someone who values loyalty and responsibility. However, such manipulations are often selfishly motivated and can leave you feeling drained and unappreciated. How to protect yourself? Jung advised setting healthy boundaries. Remember, no one has the right to manipulate your feelings for their own goals. The ability to say no and prioritize your own interests is an important step in protecting yourself from manipulations. Learn to recognize your own needs and be assertive in communicating them. Protecting your time, energy, and emotions from those who seek to exploit your sense of duty is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. Our shadow is an inseparable part of us, and no matter how much we try to suppress it, it will continue to influence our relationships with others. Understanding this allows us to avoid manipulations and toxic people. By working with our shadow, we not only come to understand ourselves better, but also learn to protect ourselves from hidden negative influences. By recognizing the signs of the shadow in others, we can build healthy and honest relationships based on mutual respect and sincerity. Let your intuition always be your ally and your inner sense of harmony and confidence, your shield in any relationship. Recognize when your shadow appears, but also learn to spot the shadows in others. By protecting your emotional boundaries and focusing on your self-worth, you can cultivate more genuine and fulfilling relationships and avoid being taken advantage of by hidden agendas.